Welcome to a very special episode of Split Ends Live with Andrew and Olga, and here today in the salon chair, needing no introduction, or maybe the right introduction, because she's often introduced as the first woman to do everything. Please welcome to introduce herself, explorer and incredible guest, Vanessa O Brien. Split Ends with Andrew and Olga.
Vanessa will tell her own story. Of course she's not got split ends because I've been a hairdresser for over 20 years. Vanessa, I've seen this woman's life adventure from working in the city, kind of in a major corporate global role, to becoming this incredible adventurer with her own book and creating so many firsts. So, do you want to reel them off?
The treatment.
First of all, it's just great to be here with Olga and Andrew on the Split Ends podcast. And this is for such a great cause. We will talk about Kilimanjaro. I know that's a question coming up. I have climbed it twice. What I'd like to say is I did start, as he said, in the city, so the finance guy over there won't feel so alone. But what I would say is, and I think about Mark Twain when I think about this, he has a quote that says, "The two most important days in your life are the day that you are born and the day you find out why." And that, to me, is so incredible, because where you start is not where you end. Life is a long journey, and my journey took me from the city to the mountains, and the mountains gave me humility. The mountains really cracked open my ego, which allowed me to really see things in a different way. And once I could see things in a different way, I became a nicer person who was more caring. So personalities are not permanent either. So I would say it's a great journey. And I started to care as much about the mountains, the thinning glaciers, like my thinning hair. I thought I was getting it done today. So the thinning hair, the thinning glaciers, I do worry that man can be smarter than Mother Nature's ability to rejuvenate herself.
Your hair story.
Olga, what do you need to ask Vanessa? Because I've spent 20 years listening to this woman. She's inspired me for the last 2 decades.
I'm really in awe, because I think the reason we're also invested in this, the Kilimanjaro Kidscape story, is that if we're honest, we've all got our own mountain to climb, or have climbed mountains. There are people here with stories. Your stories are important. Everyone is right here, right now, is going through something that maybe not everybody else knows about. I know I do. And I think that is what is so special about Kilimanjaro, because it isn't just the physical mountain, it is the emotional, it is the trek of the soul, and that is why we're so invested, because we're here because of those children who every single day get up and have to go to school, and it feels like climbing that mountain. It feels like, and I was one of those children, and I know that Andrew was as well. And so that's why I think this particular campaign has captured all of our hearts, because we all have a mountain to climb. We're thinking of those children who climb those mountains daily just to get to their education. And so for you, Vanessa, I'm particularly interested in how that trek, you say, humbled you. Climbing those mountains, it wasn't just a physical trek, but it was an emotional, spiritual, physiological. Would you mind going a little bit deeper on that with us?
So mountains are amazing equalizers, and it's because most things we do in life, we repeat so that we become subject matter experts. It's quite simple. We do something over and over again and we become very good at it. Mountains are not that way, because of something called acclimatization. Acclimatization puts everyone at the same footing, whether you're an expert or whether you're a beginner. And this is fascinating, and the crux of the hair-raising problem with mountaineering is that it's a zero-sum game every time you start. So you really, anybody can get sick with the AMS, acute mountain sickness. The difference between somebody who's just beginning and somebody who knows a lot is that they know the symptoms and they know what to do about it. So on the extremes, it could be extreme headaches, it could be extreme nausea. People tend to fall in one of those two camps. But Andrew's in for a big treat, and those that want to join him, it doesn't look like you are yet, but she could be one we're targeting this evening. But I will say, the thing about Kilimanjaro that makes it a special mountain is every day you wake up, you're in a different visual zone. You start with the farmlands and the villages. The next day, you're in a huge rainforest that's so dense, you feel like you're in a jungle with humidity to match. Suddenly you're in a moorland with like a heath, and the heath is a dry desert. And you start to see the little shrubs get less and less green and less varied. And suddenly you can see Kilimanjaro in the distance, and you're climbing over that volcanic rock. It is a volcano. And if you're at the summit, you can probably smell a little bit of that sulfur or see some of that ice that's melting drastically.
That's incredible.
Oh, let me add one thing to that. Also, people don't think about it this way, but the people that go on this hike, getting outside of their own comfort zones, are really in for another special treat, which is not just the visual things changing, but the sense of accomplishment that comes from doing something that you worked really hard for. That sense of accomplishment cannot be bought. It's not on auction today. You must earn it. The only way you earn it is to step outside your comfort zone, and you're going to have a lot of support, and to rely on those people to help you through that journey. And that's when the best friendships are formed.
Therapy.
People always ask for the top tips, and I'll give you two. One is when you start your hike, start off a little cold, a little chilly. And that's because you're going to start exerting yourself with the climb, and you will sweat. So if you just start off a little cold, you don't have to make that first stop and de-layer. Layering is your friend. The second is because you're going to be drinking a lot, because you want to stay hydrated. It's important at night not to worry about this. Although they will at camp have those toilets, you're not going to want to put on your shoes, find that headlamp, get dressed, slog yourself out of there. No. You need a pee bottle. My friend, I have brought you your very own 3 liter.
I need to lie down.
Protein.
I literally need to lie down right now.
And can I tell you why this is so special? The worst thing about a pee bottle is running out of space. You are not going to run out of space, my friend, with 3 liters. You could even share.
Have you got one for me? Because I need something to store the bolognese in the freezer.
The other thing Andrew was hinting at is for the first person who does sign up for the climb tonight. And you have lots of reasons, remember it can't be bought. You get this copy of my book, and I will sign it to you any way you'd like. But first one to sign up tonight who has not yet signed up, it's all yours.
We can't wait. Vanessa, it's been an absolute honour speaking to you. Thank you so much for being here and just giving us much more depth and insight to what Andrew and all his other Kilimanjaro family do.
Split Ends with Andrew and Olga. Thank you for joining us for a very special edition of Split Ends Live with Andrew and Olga. And here today in the salon chair was explorer and incredible guest Vanessa O Brien. And cut